When someone ignores you, it can feel like a rejection, a moment where the heart aches and the mind spirals. But remember this: how someone treats you is a reflection of them, not your worth. You have the power to respond with grace, self-respect, and wisdom. Let's explore 5 critical mistakes to avoid when faced with this kind of challenge, so you can protect your heart, your energy, and your peace of mind. When someone ignores you, the instinct to beg for their attention can feel overwhelming. It's as though their validation holds the key to your happiness, your self-worth, and your sense of belonging. But here's the truth: chasing after someone's attention diminishes your energy and sends a powerful, unspoken message to yourself and others that you aren't enough as you are. That couldn't be further from the truth. You are already enough, worthy of love, respect, and appreciation. The act of begging for attention comes from a place of fear and insecurity. It's rooted in the belief that if you don't do something, anything, the person will slip away entirely. But consider this: someone who truly values you doesn't require you to prove your worth. Love and attention that must be begged for are not freely given, and anything that comes under those circumstances isn't authentic or sustainable. When you find yourself in a position where you're tempted to plead for acknowledgement, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, why do I feel this way? What am I truly seeking? Often the desire for attention is not about the other person at all. It's about a deeper need to feel seen, heard, and validated. But these feelings cannot be fulfilled externally. They must come from within. Imagine a flower in a garden. Does it plead for the sun to shine on it? Does it beg for the rain to fall? No, it simply grows, rooted in its place, trusting that the light and nourishment it needs will come in due time. It doesn't shrink or dull its colors because the weather isn't perfect. It stands tall in its own glory, knowing its beauty and purpose are not contingent on external circumstances. You too must cultivate this inner strength and trust in your inherent worth. Chasing after someone who is ignoring you often creates an imbalance in the relationship dynamic. By placing their attention on a pedestal, you give away your power. You teach them that their validation is more important than your dignity. Instead of standing in your worth, you allow someone else's actions or inactions to dictate your feelings. But relationships, whether romantic, familial, or platonic, should be built on mutual respect, not on one person proving their value to the other. Consider the energy you expend when you beg for attention. It's exhausting, isn't it? The constant questioning, the self-doubt, the overthinking, it drains your spirit. This energy could be better spent elsewhere, on nurturing your passions, cultivating relationships with people who do see you, and most importantly, strengthening the relationship you have with yourself. Every time you resist the urge to beg for someone's attention, you send a powerful message to yourself: I am enough. My value is not tied to anyone's validation. This is a transformative act of self-love. It reinforces that you deserve to be cherished without having to fight for it. It's important to recognize that when someone ignores you, it often has little to do with you and everything to do with them. People's actions are a reflection of their own inner worlds, their own struggles, and their own priorities. By stepping back, you allow yourself to see the situation more clearly. Instead of internalizing their behavior, you can observe it without judgment. This shift in perspective is liberating. Letting go of the need to chase after attention doesn't mean closing your heart or becoming indifferent. It means finding balance. It means recognizing when to invest your energy and when to step back. It means giving yourself the love and validation you may be seeking from others. Affirmations can be a powerful tool to reinforce this mindset. Begin each day by telling yourself, I am worthy of love and respect. I do not need to chase what is meant for me. Repeat this often, especially in moments of doubt. Over time, you'll find that your need for external validation lessens, replaced by a deep, unshakable sense of self-worth. When you stop begging for attention, something magical happens. You create space for genuine connections to flourish. People are drawn to those who carry themselves with confidence and self-respect. By standing in your power, you attract relationships where you are valued and appreciated for who you truly are. Remember, your time and energy are precious. Don't waste them on those who can't or won't see your worth. Instead, pour that energy into yourself. Honor your needs, celebrate your accomplishments, and surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. In every moment, you have a choice. You can chase after what isn't freely given, or you can stand tall, knowing that you are already enough. Choose the latter. Choose yourself. Because when you do, you open the door to a life filled with love, respect, and joy, both from others and, most importantly, from yourself. When someone ignores you, it's natural for your mind to wander into dangerous territory, questioning, analyzing, and often blaming yourself. You might think, what did I do wrong? Did I say something I shouldn't have? Am I not good enough? These thoughts can spiral into a cycle of self-blame that erodes your confidence and dims your inner light. But the truth is, someone else's actions are not a reflection of your worth. Their behavior is a choice they've made, and it's often rooted in their own struggles and insecurities. Blaming yourself for someone else's actions is like carrying a weight that doesn't belong to you. Imagine picking up a heavy bag of stones and dragging it everywhere you go. Over time, the burden becomes unbearable. Yet it's entirely unnecessary because the stones were never yours to carry. When you blame yourself, you take on emotional burdens that don't belong to you, allowing their behavior to define your sense of self. It's important to remember that you are not responsible for how others choose to act. You can be kind, loving, and genuine, and still, someone may choose to withdraw or behave in ways that feel hurtful. This isn't a reflection of a failing on your part. It's a reflection of their own emotional state, priorities, or limitations. By internalizing their behavior as your fault, you diminish your own power and overlook the complexity of human relationships. When you find yourself blaming yourself, take a moment to pause and breathe. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me or hurting me? Most of the time, self-blame is a destructive force, feeding doubt and insecurity rather than fostering growth. Instead of asking, what did I do wrong? Shift the question to, what can I learn from this? This reframing transforms the situation from a source of pain into an opportunity for self-awareness and growth. Forgiveness plays a vital role in breaking free from the cycle of self-blame. Start by forgiving yourself for any perceived mistakes. You're human, and like everyone else, you are constantly learning and evolving. Mistakes don't define you, how you respond to them does. Tell yourself, I release the need to be perfect. I am growing, and that is enough. This simple affirmation can begin to heal the wounds created by self-criticism. Another essential step is to challenge the narrative in your mind. When you blame yourself, you create a story where you are the sole cause of the problem. But relationships are never that simple. They involve two people, each bringing their own emotions, experiences, and choices to the interaction. By acknowledging this, you can step back from the tendency to take full responsibility and instead view the situation with clarity and compassion. Consider this: when someone ignores you, it often has little to do with you. People act based on their own internal world. Stress, insecurities, past experiences, or even distractions can influence their behavior. By blaming yourself, you're assuming control over something that was never yours to control. Letting go of this false responsibility frees you to focus on what truly matters, your own emotional well-being. Practicing self-compassion is one of the most powerful ways to combat self-blame. Speak to yourself as you would a dear friend. If a friend came to you feeling ignored and blaming themselves, what would you say? You would likely remind them of their worth, reassure them that they are loved, and encourage them to let go of unnecessary guilt. Offer yourself the same kindness. Stand in front of a mirror and say, "I am doing the best I can, and that is enough." These words may feel unfamiliar at first, but with time they will become a source of comfort and strength. Releasing self-blame also means focusing on the things within your control. You cannot change someone else's actions or decisions, but you can choose how you respond. Use this as an opportunity to grow closer to yourself. Spend time doing things that nourish your spirit. Read, meditate, create, or connect with people who uplift you. Shift your energy away from the pain of the past and toward the joy of the present. It's also helpful to set boundaries with your thoughts. When self-blame creeps in, visualize a stop sign in your mind. Acknowledge the thought, but don't allow it to take root. Instead, redirect your focus to affirmations of self-worth. I am worthy. I am enough. I release the need to take on what isn't mine. Healing from self-blame is a journey, not a destination. It takes practice, patience, and a commitment to treating yourself with the love and respect you deserve. Every time you resist the urge to blame yourself, you reclaim a piece of your power. You remind yourself that your worth is not determined by anyone else's actions, but by the light within you. You are not the cause of someone else's behavior, and you are not defined by their choices. By releasing self-blame, you make space for forgiveness, self-love, and growth. You free yourself to live fully and authentically, unburdened by the weight of unnecessary guilt. Trust in your worth and know that you deserve kindness from others, and most importantly, from yourself. Silence can feel like the loudest sound in the world when it comes from someone you care about. It can stir up a storm of emotions, confusion, hurt, and even frustration. The temptation to overanalyze their silence, to pick apart every word they didn't say, every text they didn't send, is strong. You want answers, clarity, and understanding. But overanalyzing their silence often leads to conclusions that cause more harm than good. It magnifies insecurities, creates unnecessary narratives, and distracts you from the truth. Their silence is not your responsibility to decode. When someone goes silent, your mind might race to fill the void. You might ask yourself questions like, did I say something wrong? Are they upset with me? These thoughts are natural, but they often stem from a place of fear rather than reality. Your mind is trying to make sense of the unknown, but in doing so, it creates assumptions that may not be accurate. The truth is, their silence may have nothing to do with you at all. It could be rooted in their own struggles, distractions, or emotional state, things you have no control over. Overanalyzing doesn't bring clarity, it breeds confusion. The more you dissect their silence, the more stories you create in your mind. One moment you convince yourself they're upset with you. The next you think they've lost interest or no longer care. These stories take on a life of their own, becoming a web of doubt and insecurity that entangles your thoughts. But none of these conclusions are based on facts. They're guesses, and they rarely lead to peace or resolution. Instead of overanalyzing, take a step back and observe their silence without judgment. See it for what it is, a lack of communication. Don't assign meaning to it or allow it to define your worth. Their silence says more about where they are than it does about who you are. You are not responsible for interpreting their behavior or filling in the gaps with assumptions. Focus instead on grounding yourself in the present moment. When your thoughts start to spiral, take a deep breath and bring your attention back to yourself. Ask, how am I feeling right now? What do I need in this moment? Shifting your focus from their actions or lack thereof to your own well-being can be profoundly healing. It allows you to reclaim the energy you were pouring into overthinking and redirect it toward nurturing yourself. Silence can be uncomfortable because it leaves space for the unknown, but not all unknowns are bad. Sometimes silence is just that silence. It doesn't always need to be solved or understood. Instead of fearing it, try to embrace it as an opportunity for reflection. What does their silence reveal about your relationship? Are you giving more than you're receiving? Are you seeking validation from someone who isn't capable of offering it? Use this quiet time to gain insight into what you truly want and deserve. It's also essential to remember that you don't have to react to their silence. Often, overanalyzing leads to impulsive actions, sending multiple messages, over-explaining yourself, or seeking reassurance. While these actions might offer temporary relief, they rarely lead to the resolution you're looking for. Instead, they can create a dynamic where you're chasing after someone who isn't showing up for you in the way you need. By choosing not to react, you protect your peace and maintain your dignity. One powerful way to combat overanalysis is to practice affirmations that reinforce your sense of self-worth. Remind yourself, I am not defined by someone else's actions. My value is not diminished by their silence. Repeat these affirmations as often as needed, especially when doubt begins to creep in. They serve as an anchor, grounding you in the truth of your worth and helping you resist the urge to seek validation from others. Another helpful tool is to set boundaries with your thoughts. When you catch yourself overanalyzing, gently redirect your focus. Instead of dwelling on what they're thinking or feeling, focus on what brings you joy. Spend time with friends, engage in activities that make you happy, or simply sit with your thoughts and breathe. By choosing to focus on yourself, you take back the power you were giving to their silence. Ultimately, you cannot control how someone else communicates, but you can control how you respond. Overanalyzing their silence won't bring them closer to you or provide the clarity you're seeking. It will only keep you stuck in a cycle of doubt and insecurity. Instead, choose to let go of the need to understand their actions. Trust that their behavior is a reflection of them, not you. You are worthy of clear communication, respect, and connection. If someone's silence feels like a burden, it's okay to step back and prioritize your own well-being. Release the need to overthink and give yourself permission to simply be. Trust that the answers you need will come in time, and until then, focus on nurturing the most important relationship in your life, the one you have with yourself. When someone treats you poorly, ignores you, or fails to meet your expectations, it's easy to let their behavior seep into your sense of self-worth. You might start questioning your value, wondering what you did wrong or why you weren't enough. But the truth is, someone else's actions, opinions, or choices do not define your worth. Your value is intrinsic, unchanging, and not dependent on how others treat you. It's time to let go of the weight of their behavior and stand firmly in the truth of your own worth. One of the most common traps we fall into is taking someone's behavior personally. If they're distant, we think we've done something to push them away. If they criticize us, we believe their words must hold some truth. But in reality, their behavior is a reflection of them, their mindset, their struggles, their perspective, not you. People act based on their own internal world, which you have no control over. What you do have control over is how you respond and how much power you allow their behavior to have over your sense of self. Imagine someone walks into a room. and doesn't greet you. Your mind might start racing. Did I upset them? Are they mad at me? Am I not worth their acknowledgement? But what if their behavior has nothing to do with you? Perhaps they're lost in their own thoughts, stressed about something, or simply didn't notice you. By letting their actions dictate how you feel about yourself, you're giving away your power. Instead, recognize that their behavior is not your responsibility to fix or interpret. When you base your self-worth on how others treat you, you put your happiness in their hands. It's a fragile and unstable foundation because people's behavior can be inconsistent. Someone might adore you one day and disappoint you the next. If your sense of value rises and falls with their actions, you'll constantly feel unsteady. True self-worth comes from within a steady, unshakable belief in your inherent value that doesn't waver, no matter how others behave. It's important to establish boundaries, not just with others, but with yourself. When someone's actions hurt you, remind yourself their behavior is a reflection of them, not me. This boundary protects your self-esteem from being influenced by external forces. It allows you to maintain your confidence and sense of self, even in the face of rejection, criticism, or indifference. Releasing the need for validation from others is a key part of this process. It's natural to want to be liked, appreciated, and respected. But when you tie your self-worth to these external validations, you give away your power. Instead, focus on building a strong internal foundation. Affirm to yourself daily, I am worthy. I am enough. My value is not determined by anyone else's opinions or actions. These affirmations may feel unfamiliar at first, but with repetition, they will become a source of strength and clarity. Another powerful practice is self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a close friend. If someone else's behavior hurts you, remind yourself that it's okay to feel upset, but don't let that pain define you. Acknowledge your emotions, but also remind yourself of your worth. Say to yourself, I am allowed to feel hurt, but I will not let this define how I see myself. When you start to internalize someone's behavior, it's helpful to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, what am I making this mean about me? Is this interpretation based on fact or assumption? Often you'll find that your conclusions are rooted in fear, insecurity, or past experiences rather than reality. By challenging these thoughts, you can break free from the cycle of self-doubt and see the situation more clearly. It's also important to surround yourself with people who uplift and value you. While no one else can define your worth, being around supportive and loving individuals reinforces the truth of your value. Seek out relationships that feel balanced, respectful, and empowering. At the same time, release those that consistently drain or diminish you. Letting go of toxic connections isn't easy, but it's a vital step in protecting your self-esteem. Ultimately, your worth is not something that can be given or taken away by anyone else. It is a constant and unshakable truth that resides within you. No matter how someone behaves, whether they're kind, indifferent, or hurtful, it doesn't change your value. By choosing to anchor your self-worth in yourself rather than in others, you free yourself from the roller coaster of external validation. You are worthy because you exist, because you are uniquely you. Stand tall in that truth. When others fail to see your value, it says nothing about you and everything about them. Hold on to your power, nurture your inner light, and never let someone else's behavior dim your brilliance. You deserve to live confidently, fully, and unapologetically as the incredible person you are. When life delivers heartache, disappointment, or betrayal, the instinct to close your heart is strong. You want to protect yourself, to build walls so high that no one can ever hurt you again. But closing your heart comes at a cost. It not only keeps the pain out, but also blocks the love, joy, and connection that make life beautiful. While it's natural to feel guarded after being hurt, the greatest strength lies in keeping your heart open, even when it feels vulnerable. Pain can be overwhelming. It carves deep wounds, and you might feel as though the easiest way to heal is to shield yourself from future harm. But those walls you build to protect your heart often become a prison. They isolate you, cutting you off from experiences and relationships that have the potential to bring you happiness and growth. Closing your heart might feel safe in the moment, but over time it leads to loneliness and a sense of disconnect from the world around you. Keeping your heart open doesn't mean you ignore the pain or pretend it didn't happen. It means acknowledging the hurt and allowing yourself to feel it fully. Pain is a teacher, offering lessons about resilience, boundaries, and self-love. When you allow yourself to process the emotions instead of shutting them away, you begin to heal from the inside out. It's not about forgetting the hurt, but learning from it and using it as a stepping stone toward a more fulfilled life. One of the biggest fears about keeping your heart open is the risk of being hurt again. That fear is valid, but consider this: every meaningful relationship and experience carries some level of risk. You cannot truly love, connect, or grow without opening yourself to the possibility of discomfort. Vulnerability is the gateway to the deepest forms of connection. By closing your heart, you deny yourself the richness of those experiences. An open heart doesn't mean being naive or allowing others to take advantage of you. It means being discerning while still embracing the possibility of connection. Learn to trust yourself and your instincts. The pain you've endured has made you wiser and more attuned to what feels right for you. Use that wisdom to set boundaries that protect your peace while still allowing love and joy to flow into your life. Forgiveness is a key part of keeping your heart open. Forgiving someone who hurt you doesn't mean you condone their actions or invite them back into your life. It means releasing the hold their actions have on you. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, a way to free your heart from the weight of resentment. By letting go, you create space for healing and new possibilities. An open heart also requires self-compassion. Often we close ourselves off not just to others, but also to ourselves. We blame ourselves for past mistakes, judge ourselves harshly, and hold on to guilt. To keep your heart open, start by being gentle with yourself. Speak to yourself with kindness and understanding. Remind yourself that you are human, that you are allowed to make mistakes, and that those mistakes don't define your worth. Focus on gratitude as a way to keep your heart open. Even in the midst of pain, there are moments of beauty and love to be found. A smile from a stranger, the warmth of the sun on your face, or the support of a friend. These small moments remind you that the world is still filled with goodness. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you've lost to what you still have, helping to keep your heart soft and receptive. Healing takes time, and there will be moments when keeping your heart open feels impossible. On those days, remind yourself that progress is not linear. It's okay to take small steps to open your heart little by little. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. Trust that with time, the walls will come down and your heart will feel lighter. Ultimately, keeping your heart open is a courageous act of self-love. It's choosing to believe in the beauty of life and the possibility of connection, even after you've been hurt. It's a declaration that your capacity for love is greater than the pain you've endured. By keeping your heart open, you give yourself the gift of a life filled with meaning, connection, and joy. Yes, there will be risks, but those risks are far outweighed by the rewards of a heart that is free to love and be loved. You deserve a life that is rich with connection and filled with moments that make your spirit soar. Let your heart remain open, for it is the key to embracing the fullness of who you are and the incredible journey that lies ahead. There is a force within you, quiet yet unyielding, that holds the power to shape your life. It's a strength that cannot be given or taken away by anyone else, because it is yours by birthright. This power resides within your mind, your spirit, and your heart. It is the essence of who you are, waiting for you to recognize it, embrace it, and unleash it upon the world. So often we look outside ourselves for validation, approval, or a sense of worth. We search for something external, a relationship, a job, or material success to make us feel complete. But the truth is, everything you need to thrive, to succeed, and to find happiness already exists within you. Your power is not in the hands of others, nor is it dictated by circumstances. It lives in the choices you make, the thoughts you think, and the beliefs you hold about yourself. Your mind is a powerful tool, capable of creating your reality. The way you think shapes how you see the world, and in turn, how the world responds to you. If you focus on your limitations, you will see obstacles everywhere. But if you focus on your potential, you will see opportunities. The thoughts you nurture become the foundation of your life. When you believe in your strength, your abilities, and your worth, you activate the limitless power within you. But belief alone is not enough. Action is the bridge between the life you dream of and the life you live. Your power is most evident in the choices you make every day. Do you choose to dwell on fear or to act in faith? Do you choose to give up when faced with challenges or to persevere? Every decision you make, no matter how small, shapes your path. With each step forward, you affirm your power and take ownership of your life. Resilience is another manifestation of your inner power. Life will test you, it will throw challenges your way and push you to your limits. But resilience is not about avoiding hardships, it's about rising each time you fall. It's about trusting in your ability to overcome, even when the odds seem stacked against you. Every time you get back up, you prove to yourself just how strong you are. Your power also lies in your ability to adapt and grow. Change is inevitable, and resisting it only causes suffering. When you embrace change as an opportunity to learn and evolve, you step into your power. Growth often requires stepping out of your comfort zone, taking risks, and facing fears. It's in those moments of discomfort that your strength is revealed. You realize that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. One of the most transformative aspects of your inner power is self-love. When you honor and accept yourself fully, flaws, strengths, and all, you unlock a source of confidence and peace that no external force can shake. Self-love is not arrogance, it's the quiet assurance that you are enough, just as you are. It's treating yourself with kindness, setting boundaries, and prioritizing your well-being. When you operate from a place of self-love, you become unstoppable. Your emotions, too, are a part of your power. They are not weaknesses to be hidden, but guides to be listened to. Your feelings can illuminate your deepest desires and alert you to what needs to change. By honoring your emotions rather than suppressing them, you connect more deeply with yourself. This connection strengthens your ability to navigate life with authenticity and purpose. And connection with others also amplifies your inner power. While your strength is yours alone, sharing it with others creates synergy. When you inspire, support, and uplift those around you, you expand the impact of your power. At the same time, allowing others to support you does not diminish your strength, it reinforces it. Vulnerability and openness are not signs of weakness, but evidence of trust in your resilience. Ultimately, your power lies in your ability to create the life you want. You are not a victim of circumstance, but an architect of your destiny. This doesn't mean you can control everything. Life is unpredictable, and challenges will arise. But you can control how you respond, and that response defines your path. By choosing to act with courage, integrity, and self-belief, you turn your inner power into a force for transformation. No matter where you are in life, know this: your power is always within you. It may be buried under doubt, fear, or past hurts, but it is never gone. Take a moment to reconnect with yourself. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and feel the strength that resides in your heart. It has always been there, waiting for you to claim it. Trust in it. Lean into it, and let it guide you toward the life you are meant to live. You are stronger, wiser, and more capable than you realize, and the world is waiting for you to step into your greatness.